And because appearances can be wrong or can be right, but when you judge wrong, the cost of judging wrongly based on appearances, I think is what it's warning us against. If you're kind to someone who seems shabby and they don't really have any gifts, then you're no worse off. And in fact, you're probably better off because you didn't stroke your ego, you didn't inflate yourself. But the cost of wrongly judging someone who looks quote unquote shabby and they do have gifts, you could lose your whole kingdom. You could lose your daughter. You could lose your life. That's, I think, the kind of lesson of this story, and that, yeah, people get their gifts. I don't know how many times I'm going to use air quotes in this podcast, but people do get their gifts from going further. So I can think of that as in spiritual or in any type of real progress in life. You do have to risk. You do have to ignore the bodily desires and the desire for pleasure or to avoid pain. That's what he does, and he goes beyond the normal forest into this everlasting forest and then climbs up to a tree and sees far. He does have an intention. He wishes for something more. He expresses that wish. He gets the food, and that now he is able to negotiate. And then, yeah, the fact that they are willing to trade something that can bring power, something that is powerful, just for a sumptuous meal, an everlasting sumptuous meal, shows that maybe they're not worthy of even having that. There's, I think that's the logic of the story. You can't. Maybe you're not supposed to look at the content of the story so much as the logic of it. You see the plot not for the specific nodes along the plot, but for the logic of the movement forward in the story.